So welcome back. This is part two of my final presentation about teaching students with high functioning autism. This is my behavior intervention plan where I discuss how a BIP can help students build their knowledge base about themselves, begin understanding how to self-regulate, and create self-management skills. It is important to understand how to develop a behavior plan. This starts with identifying a student's likes and dislikes, selecting a target behavior, and collaborating with the student to find the right reinforcer. I'll take a moment to discuss what they think a good reinforcement is, and then I'll compare that to how some of my students have asked for certain reinforcers and the similarities and differences. Behavior regulation management. Teaching the student with HFA to observe and monitor the behavior is a key component of any behavior plan. I offer some strategies such as tally marks or checklists, emotional and feeling charts. These are very cheap, easy ways to start to help students self-regulate. I offer some emotional awareness strategies such as using a mirror to mimic faces or an emotional chart or book. I suggest using multimedia sources. I often use videos or movies to help students identify the emotions of others. This is very important so they can share their experience with other students. This is a great way for student engagement. Using a color or number chart, such as the 1 through 5 strategy, is something that I'll speak about and offer in a variety of ways. Here's another feedback opportunity. I ask the teachers to stand up and find someone across the room, share some of the strategies that they've learned, and at the end of the 5 minutes to return to the table and share out their findings. After they get some time to talk, I'll go ahead and ask somebody in the class or in the audience to volunteer, so we get a whole group discussion. Behavior and crisis management. I begin to discuss what it's like when a student with HFA becomes out of control and it results in a tantrum or meltdown. We go through the different stages of behavior, the stages of the student meltdown, including the anxiety, the refusal, the release, and then building a rapport. After we talk about those stages, I then go into some strategies for interventions and hopefully some crisis de-escalation in the anxiety stage and in the refusing stage. I think that it's important in the release stage to explain that safety is a primary concern, not only for the teacher, the student that's having the meltdown, but the other students in the classroom. Finally, we talk about the rapport stage, how you can help the student calm down and to discuss their feelings and hopefully start to create some understanding of why they reached that stage. I ask for a quick quiz, again, just instant feedback. The release stage of a meltdown is when the student goes home. Of course, that's false. Uh, my next section is about socialization. I go into a little bit of detail about the theory of mind. this was something new that I learned in this class, and I just did not have a name for what I was looking at in my classroom. So I really liked having something called the theory of mind, and how not only how students understand how somebody else is feeling, but how they understand their own feelings. We discuss a little bit about how a student needs with HFA needs help developing the theory of mind, the impact of the theory of mind beyond socialization, such as symbolized action. I thought this was a great example. Why do you fist bump? What's the reason? I don't know that I've actually ever asked my student why they think fist bumps are cool, but they do it and they love it. So it'll probably be something I ask them. What the impact of TOM is on reading skills, which I think is a great way of explaining to teachers how a student's reading comprehension can improve because they become better at inferences and predictions, be able to better understand a character's motivation, and to understand different points of view in the story. Uh, Part of the socialization piece is I have a quick video on the friend program. This was a video that I picked up in the class, and it's not one that I see in my school, but I thought offering it to my audience would be a good idea. My final section is on students and transitions, specifically transitioning to a higher grade. Because we are elementary school, I do have students transitioning from elementary to middle school. So I give them uh, an opportunity to think about the audience's first day in high school. How was it different? What emotions did you have? How did you cope? And then some of the difficulties a student with HFA may have, such as teacher expectations, what it's like to be around new students, new peers, new schedules, new campus, new staff. These are all very challenging for a student with HFA. I, I go into a little bit of detail about strategies to help your student transition to a higher grade, and I offer such suggestions as discussing with the student prior to the end of the year about the location and the teachers and what the routines will be like. I do this in my class now. I help the student. We do a tour. We go visit the school and the classroom, and they get to meet the teachers. We also, both the parents and the students, we go over the IEP or the 504 to talk about any behavior plan and what the accommodations would be. In addition, some new things I learned, creating a booklet for the transition, pictures of the teachers and staff, the schedules, transportation, how will they get to school, how will they get home. I thought this was a great idea, and I wanted to add it into the presentation. In addition, working with parents, breaking in new clothing is a fantastic idea. I want to make sure teachers understand that, again, that sensory input, new clothing, new materials can feel uncomfortable and can create stress. Uh, Helping parents begin the routines for the upcoming year early so it's not a big drastic transition and there's lots of anxiety. And then helping students get used to technology if applicable. Oftentimes when the younger students will have iPads, and then moving to a laptop can take some time to acclimate. This is one of the last quizzes I have. It's what aspects of autism affects a student's ability to make smooth transitions. And then, of course, that's all of them. These all affect can affect a student with HFA more than others. I take some time to kind of summarize or wrap everything up. We talk about, how there's similarity to neurotypical students, and we just go back over some of the things we learned, how proper diagnosis and evaluation is important in providing support. Behaviors are a function, and it is a form of communication. Um, Behavior intervention plans are reinforcement for positive behaviors. Socialization is key. We are all working as a team to support our students, and that'll give them an opportunity to be a part of our society. At the end of my presentation, I offer a survey link and another QR code so that I can get feedback for my presentation and learn how to be better at it. I offer my online resources. These are YouTube's websites, and then my assessment and log resources. I created Google Docs so they can access them and download copies themselves. And then, of course, my references. Uh, Thank you to everybody who helped me with my presentation, and have a great day.